other, hurt each other, now embrace this holy tide of Christmas. Don't love the death deface. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy, comfort and joy. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy.
Welcome in, everybody, to the In Off the Bench podcast. My name is Jim Cross, and I'm joined, as always, by my co-host, my partner in crime, my brother, Daniel Ball. Daniel, how you doing tonight?
What up? What up? I like what you did with that intro. Got me in the holiday spirit, but also got me pumped up, dude. That's good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, Phil Wickham mixes it up on them old Christmas songs, get some hype, get some new, and perfect for this. You know, we were talking right before this started. We are going to be talking a new school, talking to an elite gymnast. But before we do, it is the holiday season. Want to thank our sponsors, not just plug them, Daniel. Thank you. Chinook Seedery, Memphis City Design, Old Dominic Distillery, Relief Chiropractic, changing your life, Athletic Collection, Bell Smith, all of them. Wishing every one of them a very Merry Christmas. But Daniel, we got to get to the biggest interview in podcasting this week. Emily Ennis, how are we doing?
Great. How about you guys?
We're excited. You know, we're going to need a little more energy from you, kind of sleeping on us. But before we get into your story, we want to break the ice. You know, it is Christmas season. I got to know, you're back home. What are you looking forward to eating the most tomorrow? Whether mom cooks it, dad cooks it, grandma cooks it, whoever.
My mom ordered chicken romano from one of our neighbors. She does grad parties and everything, and it's a fan favorite. So definitely some of that tomorrow.
Daniel, we're having more not traditional foods. Like, I feel like this is more of a thing now.
Yeah, I'm gonna go straight out Cinco de Mayo for Christmas next time. If the menu wasn't already set, I would definitely modify it for sure.
No, I mean, I'm going, honey baked ham, Daniel. You know where it's going down at. But let's talk movies. As soon as this is over, I am going to be summoned to watch Elf. We're watching Elf tonight. We're watching Home Alone tomorrow. Emily, what's your go-to Christmas movie?
Probably Elf. That was the first movie I ever saw in theaters, and I was probably about a month old. So it's been a favorite ever since then. You probably didn't remember it, but
no, you want to talk about feeling old.
She says she's in the theater.
Christ. Jesus. Wow.
We've now established that you're old, Daniel. I'm not.
I'm
crying.
It just goes to show you Elf is going to stand the test of time, because I love that movie, and it is. And if you love that movie, then it's going to be around for a while. So fan favorite, definitely like Elf.
Let me tell you why, Emily, I'm kind of not feeling Elf this year. Last year, she's doing it again, but my wife makes themed dinners and desserts and all this stuff that goes towards the movie. So Elf, being spaghetti, and she challenged me to eat what he ate with all the stuff in it, the syrup, just what I can't even, I'm trying to actually not remember. And I held for the video as I was eating it, tried to act like, it wasn't that bad. I mean, my stomach hurt for 2 days. That is definitely not a realistic scenario. Like I said, I'm trying to remember what all was in it, and then punching out a 2 liter of Coke. It's just the definition of unhealthy. And for an elite gymnast like you, don't ever try that. You don't need that in your life. But last question. This one's actually not Christmas related, but we love to know about.
I want to try that.
Go ahead.
Oh, it's kind of lagging, so I'm probably talking over you guys, but those movie theaters that give out food related to that certain movie, have you seen those?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of similar.
Yeah, and
it's like all the food in the movie, they'll like.
Yeah, usually they're good and fun. This was the only time it wasn't. But I wanted to ask you about music. I know that we can tell a lot by people's music choice. If you could go see anyone in concert, like anywhere, who are you going to see? Where are you going to see them?
Probably Megan Maroney in like Nashville or something. I've always wanted to go there.
Megan Maroney. What's your favorite song by Megan Maroney?
Probably Bless Your Heart.
That sounds like some serious shade, Daniel.
Yeah, it sounds like a heartfelt. It sounds like a beautiful song.
Sounds like a diss track to me.
She going full Taylor Swift on folks. Just,
you know, if somebody looks at you and tells you bless your heart, they're basically telling you something else.
Yeah, they're saying 2 letters, but not bless you. All right, Emily, let's get down to business. Obviously, you know, we're stoked to have you on. Washington, switching over to a new conference. Don't know how all that works, but you're gonna soon find out, you know, what it's all about to be in the Big Ten. So with that, you know, we got to get to you. Tell me a little bit about home. Where are you from, and is that where you're at currently?
Yes, I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and that's where I currently am now. So kind of went very far for school, but I love it back home. So,
well, I'm sure your family is excited to know that, you know, at least half of your schedule is going to be played a little bit closer to home. You know, and the one thing I know about folks from Pittsburgh is like it's people work hard there. Like they're all about hard work and grind, and you know, that's kind of what I want to get into. Family dynamics. Tell me a little bit about mom, dad. You got any brothers or sisters?
yeah, my mom, dad, and then I have 2 older brothers. One of them just got married this past summer, so that was super exciting. And then my parents, they move out to Seattle, which is really special for me during my meet season. So I'm there for 3 months. So I don't have too much time away for them, but yeah.
Man, Seattle, that's wild. You know, obviously with all of that, it takes, you know, special people to be able to do that. And I'm sure, you know, they've rallied around you, and it just shows you what kind of people they are when they're willing to uproot from Pittsburgh on the East Coast and go all the way as far West Coast as you can just to be closer to you. You got to appreciate that, and you got to love that. But, you know, being a Pittsburgh fan, are you a Steelers fan? Are you a Pirates fan?
Yeah, all of the above.
Okay. I was going to say, like, you know, some people get crazy and they're like, no, I'm an Eagles fan. And I'm like, what? How does that work? Like, I feel like that's like very like satanic if you are a Pittsburgh person and you're repping Philly. You know, but whatever the case might be, obviously the Steelers are playing well. The Pirates have a guy that should be really carrying the torch for them for the near future, Paul Skeens. Are you a fan of Paul Skeens? Do you know about Paul?
I know about Paul, but I'm not like I like the Pirates and I'll watch them. I like baseball, but it's pretty cool that he's in the city.
Do you know what? Here's the thing. You are closer to Paul Skeens than you ever thought you would be. Do you know why?
Yeah.
Both of you have been on this podcast now.
Yeah. Both of them have been on this podcast. Also, you can catch, you know, Paul at a bunch of different meets. He may not make himself known there, but Emily, at 3 or 4 different LSU meets for sure. Daniel, you need to figure out guys like that, people to know they're look to LSU to put the camera on them and put them on the big screen and say, and Paul Skeens is in the house. And then next thing you know, you don't see Paul anymore because you done made him uncomfortable.
I mean, Paul doesn't strike me as a camera guy.
He doesn't. He just wants to be left alone. He wants to watch his girlfriend compete. And the last thing he needs is for you to announce he's there so everybody can come ask for autographs.
Honestly, I just think that's something he's going to get used to after a while, because if you continue to win a lot of games and you rack up some Cy Young awards and you eventually win a World Series in Pittsburgh, you're going to have to get over that, buddy. Sorry, but that's just the hard truth, because you can't be the beloved person of Pittsburgh and not want some of the attention, because they're going to give it to you. They're just showing their love for you.
Daniel, I think Emily has a potential though to hijack Paul, because let's say she wins the national championship on the floor. Who's Paul Skeens? You know what I mean? He's gonna be the most elite person coming out of Pittsburgh.
That's what I've been saying all week. When I knew Emily was coming on, I was like, I don't even know that dude, Paul. It's all about Emily. But Emily, obviously, how does a girl from Pennsylvania end up at Washington? Why Washington?
It's been honestly a crazy journey to get there. But I love to travel, and I loved Washington. I was committed quite while before I went to school there. So I was ready to be out in Washington and kind of move away from my hometown and see something new, but also always have my home here. And yeah, it's been great. The support has been awesome. I mean, Washington's beautiful too. So it's been an easy place to call home.
Jim, she's saying that she was committed and she knew she was going there for such a long time. Like, I picture her as when you book a trip way in advance and you plan for it, and you're looking at all the travel and looking online at all the reviews and things to do. I feel like, Emily, was there any culture shock or transition moving there, or you had enough time to prepare yourself for what you were going to encounter going from Pittsburgh to Washington?
Yeah, I feel like my journey was a little different because when I committed, it was the dead period. So when I went on my official, I was already committed.
Nice.
But when I went on my official, it was
cold. Both are too cold for me. Point blank period. She needs to come compete down south where, that's the thing. If I'm going to go watch Emily compete, I'm going to have to bundle up. And that just don't sound fun to me, Daniel. That's why she just doesn't make sure she books her ticket to Fort Worth and make it easy on me.
That's true.
But speaking of Fort Worth, Emily, that's why I wanted to have you.
Yeah.
Go ahead. It lagged again.
I was just saying it is cold out there, but it's nice, and I don't know, it's easy. And my going up there, I had to fly out there myself to see the school before I committed because of COVID and the dead period and everything. So I almost had to commit without even looking at the school if my family didn't fly me out there. So I was ready to be in Washington.
Oh, wow. Well, at least you had your family do that, because we have had a lot that we've talked to where they did have to commit without going. But, I do know that my father was stationed out in Washington State, and he confirms exactly what you said. And this is a guy who was also stationed all over Europe, and he said Washington State was the most beautiful place he lived. So I know he wouldn't lie to me, so I believe you too. And seems like a good choice by all accounts, because things have went really well, which is what I was saying. When I was in Fort Worth last year, got to watch Skylar compete to represent Washington, which kind of made me want to see what Washington was all about. And when you go to Washington Gymnastics, it really seems like you're the face of Washington Gymnastics. So let's talk about it. Freshman year, you get to compete in floor and vault pretty much the whole season. Talk about that freshman season. Talk about what you learned. Tell us about the coaching staff, because we don't know too much about Washington.
Yeah. So when I committed before going to school there, obviously, I committed under a different coaching staff. So a few days after I committed, or a few weeks, I don't know the exact timeline, head coach dropped out middle season. So then I was left with those two assistant coaches for a while, talking to them, communicating with them, and then they both left. So when I went to camp there that year to meet the new head coaches, because I was obviously going there, but I wasn't committed under them. So I wanted to meet them and see, how I like them, and I love them. Which, it was great. My freshman year, had a great time. Competing was new, but really fun. And the team atmosphere was just great. It was super fun. The road trips, the memories, especially making it to the Sweet 16. freshman year was like such a dream. I mean, that was really awesome for our team. So then I had these coaches freshman and sophomore year, and then now we just got a new set of coaches. One of the assistants stayed, but now, so I've been through about 3 coaches now, but this staff is great, and I'm excited for this year.
I mean, it's pretty refreshing in a day and age, Daniel, where when all these changes happen, usually everyone goes to a new school, but Emily staying loyal to her commitment, staying loyal to the University of Washington. It's really refreshing to hear, Emily, that you're continuing your journey there, not leaving out, giving this new coaching staff one of their elite gymnasts back, as opposed to them having to figure out how to replace you. So I definitely admire that. When you got there, let's talk about like upperclassmen. Was there anybody specifically who kind of took you under your wing? When we talk to a lot of the gymnasts, there's always one or two that really just help them make it a smooth transition. Was there anybody for you?
I mean, yeah, when I came in, there was 6 people in my class and then 6 to 7 seniors. So we had like one of the best leading classes, which was really helpful, and they were so welcoming. Brenna was a big one, which she was our assistant coach last year. But now she's in like an official assistant coach role, which is great. Hadley Roberts was another one. She was a transfer that same year. So it was pretty cool to, be with an upperclassman, but also help her through as we're going through the same thing. So that was kind of a unique situation, but very helpful. And then Amara was like our rock for that team. She was great and just like one of the biggest role models for me, I think.
Nice. I mean, that's always key when you get there. You definitely want to have a smooth transition. You definitely want to have someone you can look up to. And so for, like you said, you 6 or 7 girls to literally have the same number to kind of match you, and y'all can all learn from them. But, your jump from freshman to sophomore year was amazing. You got pretty turned up, NCAA regional floor champion, notched a career high 9.950, set career highs in all 3 of your events, vault, beam, and floor. What would you attribute to that success? Was it as simple as the experience, or the things that we're talking about with the coaching staff, or the upperclassmen you're learning to? Like, how did you make that big jump from freshman to sophomore year?
I would say all of it. I was super hungry, and I still am, just to do the best I can and contribute the most I can for my team. Getting in that beam lineup was like one of my biggest goals for my sophomore season. But my biggest goal, I told my coaching staff after my freshman year, is I said, next year I'm going to start where I just left off. And, that's exactly what I did. That's what I worked for. And I couldn't have done that with the help of my teammates or my coaches to push me. But yeah, just having the support from everyone and, like healthy competition within the team, allowing others to push me as I push them too, is, I think, the best that you can get. But like having that same support from everyone too is more than you could ask for. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I was looking through the schedule, not just to see how you did, but, who y'all competed against. And I tell you what, Washington has the most brutal schedule in the first 2 years you've been there, competing against the best of the best. For you, what was your favorite meet in the first 2 years, whether it was because of how the team did, how you did individually, or atmosphere? What was your favorite?
That's a hard one. I'd probably say like regionals when we qualified for Sweet 16. I don't think many people were expecting that. And it came down really to like the last and final score on floor. And then just like we were looking at the TVs of the scores, and as soon as like the score was put in, it switched TVs on we have a video of all of our heads turning and seeing that we just made it to like the top 16. And I think we were all shocked. We weren't expecting it, but like we put in that work to get there, and everyone was just like so happy. And I think that was definitely one of my favorite memories.
That's awesome. Yeah, the when you surprise everybody and you're coming from a underdog role, it's definitely the best way to do it. And, it's really exciting that you got to be a part of that moment. And hopefully, y'all got even bigger moments coming this year. And especially coming down to the last event, I was in Fort Worth last year, obviously an LSU fan, and Aaliyah Finnegan's a guest of the show. And so, it coming down to her final beam performance, and if she falls, it's Cal's taking it, right? And like, I just can't imagine what y'all go through, the pressure, like, of, gymnastics just doesn't, me and Daniel talk about all the time. You don't really have a margin for many mistakes. And in that moment, no margin. And so it's scary. So I commend you for doing everything you're doing. You're competing in all these events, high pressure situations against big teams. But, let's talk about this upcoming season. The schedule doesn't get any easier. Again, Daniel talked about the transition to the Big Ten, but, it adds in competing against Michigan State. You still have UCLA with you, still going against Utah, all these things. So not fixing to get any easier for you girls. You're going to have to, get better as the season goes and see where you're at right out the gate. And that's where I want to kind of ask you, the fall, you really find out where you're at, coming into this Christmas break. How are you feeling about the team? How have y'all looked?
I think we look great so far. We have some injuries throughout the team. So once we get those people back up and healthy, we'll be in a really, really great spot. But we just had our purple and gold matchup this last weekend before we came home, and we hit 100% that meet. So that was just like a great position that we're in now. It brought, I think, a little confidence into everyone. But yeah, started off the meet great and got some new people in lineups, which I'm really excited about. People work really hard, and being able to like put people in, take people out, and have that variability is, I think, something that'll be very helpful for this team this year.
Yeah, I got to saw the video highlights, and Daniel, that's probably been my favorite part. I don't know how much you've gotten to take in, Daniel, but every one of these teams has put out their highlights from, all their inner squads, and they all look ready. Like, this season is going to be awesome, Daniel. The amount of elite level gymnasts, elite teams looking this good, already, like, and how it gets, Daniel. They usually get better as the season goes, as long as they can, keep free of injuries. Like, have you gotten to see, Daniel, the amount of highlights, especially did you get to see Washington?
Yeah, so it's unbelievable. I don't know if it's just the level of competition that has ratcheted up, or if it's just you have people like Emily who are, well trained and ready and prepared once they get to college, and you're seeing just the level of incoming new, crop of talent coming in just at a different level. But every video you see, I know you're going to get a lot of the best, but like, it is people like doing unbelievable things, sticking landings, and doing just a lot of like things that you would do and see later in a season, like to perfection so early. Like, it gets me pumped up. It gets us excited for what we're about to witness. I mean, and obviously, Jim, I think a lot of it is, and Emily can attest to this as well, is when you're in gym, you start out of the gates hot. Like, you're going against the best of the best, like, early. So you have to be ready.
Well, I think they got an awesome opportunity this year. Emily, I'll ask you, like, how excited are you to host a quad in your house to open the season? I mean, obviously you got to like going to places like Las Vegas and stuff, but it's got to be special to have 3 teams coming to your house.
Yeah, I'm excited. We haven't done that yet. We haven't started at home, and I think we're starting about a week later too. So that gives us a little bit more time to prepare. But then at the end of the season, we're also ending it at home. So I think that's kind of a full circle moment. I'm really excited for it. But yeah, starting off the bat with the quad meet gives us good idea of how other teams are doing, and gives us a chance to like show people who Washington are, especially that first meet.
Yeah, and I think it's the last thing, and I'll let Daniel play a game with you. I think that conference changeover, I think that's got people not thinking about, because I haven't heard nearly the talk, not even just about Washington, but like a team like UCLA. It feels like, and even Utah's not even getting the talk as much. Yeah, the rankings there, but I'm not seeing and I think it's all this conference switch. And I think people are forgetting about these elite programs and just what they're doing, and just focusing, on the SEC and then the Big Ten teams that have been there and established. So I think you're in a good spot to where, you said you liked, nobody, thought you were going to do it before. I think y'all are going to sneak up and do it again. And that's why I said hopefully to even go further, because me and Daniel talk about it all the time, no matter what sport, we talk to all these different guests. I think coming from the underdog role is the best role. Being the favorite and having the target on your back, like in LSU this year, is the hardest role to be in. So I think it's a good opportunity, coming into the Big Ten, being able to, make a name for yourself. How excited are you? And this is, like I said, the last thing, Michigan State, Michigan, those schools have had a good reputation, getting to compete with them now, year in and year out.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see new teams. And like you said before, I think the past 2 years we went in with this underdog mentality. And I mean, we did have some surprises in there, but this year we're switching up a little bit and coming in as Washington and changing that mentality to the Montlake mentality is what we've really been focusing on, and bringing our turf to other places. So even though we're going to New Jersey and going to Michigan, like, we're going to make it our home no matter what and do the best we can to show up against those teams. I'm really excited.
Far is Pittsburgh from Rutgers? Is it anywhere close? I don't know. I'm not familiar with the Northeast.
Yeah, it's about like a 5-hour drive. So nice. The closest we'll get this season. Yeah.
Jim, out of all the things that she said, like, let me connect the dots for you. Basically, what Emily said is, ain't nobody in the Big Ten ready for Washington. They're not. They're coming, and they're going to make their presence felt immediately.
Well, I mean, I'm going to tell you, and I'm not going to spoil into your this or that questions, but all the big dogs come to them. They have an opportunity to take care of business in their house against all the teams that are known for being really good at gymnastics. So awesome opportunity this season for Washington.
Where they're about to get shell-shocked when they go into Washington. It's going to be bonkers up in that place. But Emily, it is the time of the interview where we get to play a game called This or That. You will be, over 500 guests have played this game. Like, I think you're like 502. Like, it's a big deal. So
I'm going to stop
play a game.
That's too much for me.
All right, here we go. Jim.
Yes, of course.
Nice. All right, Jim, who's This or That brought to you by?
Let's go Memphis City Design. You can get your merch. Obviously, you can get Washington colors, Daniel. You're not gonna be able to get the Washington logo. This is only our second Washington guest, so gotta defend ourselves. But if you want to go out there and get your in off the bench merchandise in any team, any colorway, you can. Obviously, they got more than that, Daniel. Really, Memphis City Design is a branch to about 6 different apparel companies, right? And got a bunch of NIL deals set up with a lot of our athletes. So we really appreciate what they do, not just for their merchandise, but what they do with college athletes. So shout out to Memphis City Design. Go check them out. Obviously, if you haven't got your Christmas presents, it's too late. But, there's other holidays. There's birthdays coming up.
I don't know. There's some crazy ass people out there that will wait until Christmas Eve to do a lot of their shopping. And I'm not that person, but I do know people that are. And that is just asinine to me. But anyhow, into the game, we're going to jump out with a quick one, an easy one. Emily, coffee or energy drink?
Energy drink.
What is your energy drink of choice? Are you grabbing the Wings, grabbing the Bull, Monster, Rain? What is it? Celsius?
Red Bull, but not too many. Just maybe twice a month. Got to keep it low.
Yeah, you can't get crazy riding the Bull now. All right, roller skate or ice skate?
Ice skating. I've only been once though, so.
Yeah, it's something about falling on ice that, is not a good thing, and it's not conducive to gymnastics, because the minute you hurt a hand or a foot or a finger or a head, that's just no bueno for gym. And I'm sure the coaches are like, every weekend when it starts, they're probably like, don't do anything stupid. don't do anything stupid like roller skate or ice skate. I'm sure those are 2 examples specifically that they tell y'all not to do.
Yeah, I mean, growing up, we weren't allowed to ice skate, but the only time I've been ice skating was on a cruise ship, ironically. But
Wow.
I mean, these cruise ships,
Yeah.
We
stepping
just
that
talked
game
about
up.
that. That's
Stepping
crazy.
that game up, man. I mean, it's like a city on a boat. Like, I feel like
yeah,
you could get on a boat, like most cruise ships, and wouldn't even know that you're on a boat. You feel like you're just
Mhm.
in the town, just living it up.
Yep.
More excited to host UCLA or Utah?
I'd say Utah. I don't think.
Yeah.
I think we've hosted them one time since being there.
And it's
I don't
gonna
know.
be senior night too.
We go
Ooh,
to
senior night.
UCLA a lot, so having like them, I don't know.
Well,
Yeah.
we got a Utah guest.
Yeah,
We
it'll be
don't, or excuse
exciting.
me, we got a UCLA guest. We don't have Utah, so y'all can do whatever you want to Utah, and me and Daniel won't feel any kind of way about it. So go for it.
Nope. Won't care. Y'all drag them, and
Daniel, does
I'll
it
be
feel like
happy about it.
on UCLA? Does it feel like Shea Campbell's been at UCLA for like 6 years now?
I'm telling you, man. I was thinking that the other day. You know how we looked at that list of baseball players that were at schools for the longest,
Yeah.
and I was thinking like, all right, of other athletes and other sports, like who would be on that list? And I was like, Shay's got to be on that
She
list.
came on here in like February of 2021, I think.
Hey, that COVID year, man, they got everybody. All right, big question here. Floor or bars? If you had to pick one to do and only one.
Floor, of course.
All right, beam or vault?
Beam.
All right, floor or beam?
I'd probably say floor. I like competing floor better, but I like training beam more. So
Why?
probably floor.
Why do you like
I don't know. I think just like reps on beam is really fun in practice. And like being really like a good day on beam, like walking off is like feels really good. But floor
I can get
comes a little
that.
bit
I can
easier
get
to
Well,
me, so
Daniel,
I
she
think
also said
competing it.
hunger earlier. I mean, she's a competitor, and I feel like beam is the most challenging. So I think it's just as simple as she likes to challenge herself for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like just like she said, like ending practice on a good beam session, like that could propel you for weeks. Like that could give you the motivation you need for a couple weeks. Like that's pretty phenomenal. I got it. I got you now. I'm feeling it. All right. Would you rather live in the city or the country?
The country, for sure.
Country. Are you a rom-com person or a scary movie person?
Probably rom-com.
Yeah. I'm not a rom-com. I'm not a scary. I'm not even really a movie person, which is
Daniel,
sad.
this is flip. Like, you know, there was like the first 3 girls who all said scary movie, and then since then it's just been a runaway on rom-com.
Yeah, because I mean, I think it's the holiday season. People are into the rom-coms.
I mean, I like them both.
Yeah.
Opposite of you, you said you don't really like them. I like them both, but I'm definitely in rom-com mode. Like I told you, cheesy Christmas rom-com right now. I'm all in.
All right, Emily, would you rather be an unknown superhero or a famous villain?
Unknown superhero, I think.
What would your superhero power be?
Maybe like
The ability to stick every landing.
She does it already.
Yeah. Probably like be invisible, I think would be cool.
That'd be pretty sweet. I'd like that.
Yeah.
Daniel, I realized when I was walking around the massive VA hospital today, our last 2 guests said teleport. I definitely would like to be able to just teleport from one side to the other instead of walk that maze.
That's not bad either. Not bad at all. Private jet or private yacht?
Private yacht.
With a skating rink.
Yeah, just jamming out on the ice. All right, last question. This is the big question. All right. if I came to you, Emily, and I said, "Hey, Emily, I have this briefcase and it's got $5 million. You can have this, or you can win the national championship this year. What would you take?"
National championship.
I mean, that's
Got to.
that's not a fun answer. It's not
I
even the
believe
right. That's not even the
I
right
believe her,
answer.
though. She's hungry.
I get it, but like
Yeah,
5 million.
And let me ask you this:
that's okay.
I don't know Washington's history. Have they won a national championship in gymnastics?
Think so. I could be wrong, but not recently. Not been a while.
But if they, well, the reason I asked is because me and Daniel have talked about this with some guests who they've came on here and they won the first ever for their school. And those, I mean, like Daniel says, you'll never be forgotten when you do that. So there's something special about that.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Like you're queens around Washington if you win a national championship and it's the first one ever. You're royalty if you
Yeah.
win one and you've won multiple, but you're even more so held to such a high regard if you win the first one.
So the men have in the 60s, but the women, I don't think have. I'm not seeing it.
Well,
So there you go. Time to be the first.
now's as good of a time as any, Emily, to win it all. So you're giving up $5
Take
million.
that on.
But I'm gonna be honest with you. If I was answering this question, Daniel, I was on the other side, I would normally take 5 million. But if you could get through the gauntlet that's out there this year that we know is out there between Oklahoma, LSU, Utah, Florida, Cal, like to say you went through and won this year would be big because you're going through. I mean, this is as talented as a year as we've ever seen. So this would be ultimate bragging rights, Daniel.
Oh, for sure, for sure. All right, Emily, anything you want to plug or promote before you hop out of here?
I'd say gymnastics on Instagram, or just
There you
go
go.
to any gymnastics meet. I think in general, just learn more about the sport. I think that is truly special. So wherever's closest to you, but if Washington's one of them, that'd be great.
Great
Yeah.
answer. Plug in the sport. If you can't get to the meet, go and watch it or go and stream it. Big Ten Network. They're gonna be
I want to
streaming
ask her
online.
about because she didn't plug it. I want to know about the organic yerba mate. Is that good?
Yerba mate. Yeah,
Yes.
Yerba
it's not bad.
mate,
I can't
bro.
even read the can.
Jeez.
It's not. It's one T. I would think it would, if it was mate like latte, it'd have two T's. Don't come at me, Daniel.
I mean, you gotta get with the times, bro.
Bro, I ain't never had no organic nothing. That's why I got weight issues, bro.
Wow. It's the year of yerba mate for you.
She said Red Bull twice a month. I had 3 Saturday at the casino, man. I'm unhealthy.
That's not good. Your heart stopped twice too, I bet.
Maybe I won $1,000, so it's okay.
Hey,
That's
I
a
mean,
win.
true that.
However,
Okay.
Daniel, I lost all my football bets because I got the playoffs wrong, and wrong.
I mean, a lot of people did. They were expecting it to go not chalk, and it went exactly the way that I thought it was going to go. Exactly the way Vegas thought it was going to go
I
too.
was hoping Washington would have a lot better year. Will Rogers actually, Emily sits in our top 5 all-time audio downloads, and he went to Washington, and he's such an awesome dude. I was really hoping they would compete for a national championship again with him there, but fortunately didn't work. But he's elite.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Last season was really cool to be at the school for. Be at those games.
I bet. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Well, Emily, it is a pleasure. We wish you a happy and healthy and safe, successful and magical 2025 season. Have a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. And if there's anything we can do for you along the way, reach out to us.
Thank you guys. Thanks for having me. And happy holidays as well.
Absolutely. That's Emily Ennis, everybody. If you like hearing Emily's story or you just like hearing us average Joes talk X's and O's, please like and share the podcast on Facebook. Retweet us on X. Listen and subscribe wherever you stream your podcast. Go to YouTube, click subscribe, click notifications, click like, throw some hearts out there, download the videos. I mean, be the first to comment, be the first to engage us so that we know what you like, what you don't like, so we can keep the right things coming at you. Jim, it's been a great season, a beautiful 2024. And, you know, there's nothing better than knowing that the next year of guests is stacked. So shout out to you for a great lineup. We got big things on the horizon for 2025. Hope everyone has a Merry Christmas. I hope everyone has a happy, safe New Year, and get ready because IOTB is taking over 2025. Y'all know the deal. As always, remember, strong body, sharp minds, grit and grind all the time. We are out.